Alright, so I thought I'd finally start my videos like I said I was going to. These are my Phalaenopsis hydrangeas. I started these from a cutting about a little close to about 2 years ago. Well, a year and a half ago, I think. If you notice right here, a lot of times a lot of people mistaken this as dead growth and they've just cut it all off. Well, the dead growth looking growth will always have new shoots, and they'll come out of these little protrusions like right there. And also they'll come from the ground down here right there, up near the edge. See, if you push this stuff away, you'll see right here where it's got new growth and new buds right there. Alright, so those are my Phalaenopsis. Now, over here, as you can see, I've already got new growth on this right here. This is my Concord grapevine. It's actually an experiment I started with. I wasn't really thinking it was going to survive, but it actually has survived. It's got fire ants, and as you can tell, the soil looks really nice and pretty. Well, that's because they've set up shop. They're mean little buggers. This big thorny looking tall tree is my down here is one of my fig trees. I got two of them. I got a Celeste and a brown turkey fig. Right there is my NC State patio tree, peach tree. That's a blackberry vine, a wild grapevine that I started about a year and a half ago, and it's growing beautifully. This is a hardy kiwi vine. As you can see, it's got new growth on it. This is the second year I've had that. It takes about 6 to 8 years for hardy kiwis to actually really start bearing fruit. A lot of people get disappointed and give up on them, but I'm giving it time. This is my Black Mission fig tree. It's really not supposed to be grown around here because it needs to be in an area where it doesn't get as cold as North Carolina, but I'm trying to grow it anyways just to see if I can get it to grow. Now I got a crepe myrtle tree right here and this planter right there. So that's all the stuff right there. As you can see here, me and my wife have started grub hoeing ourselves a garden spot for Blue Haven because we don't have a vegetable patch here, and I've never actually had one on my own land. So we're going to start to get our own patch started. Right here, this long, lanky looking thing. This is actually, let me zoom back. This is my pecan tree that me and my wife dug up. My wife and I, excuse me. Over here is my Granny Smith apple tree. And right there is my Pink Lady apple tree, growing beautifully. It needs to be pruned a bit because the limbs are kind of growing too straight right now. I didn't expect it to grow like that, but you know, as you live and learn. Alright, now, here are all my bearded irises. As you can tell, I have a lot of bearded irises of many various colors. And as you get further, you get into my daylily collection. Now down here, as you get further down, this is my Amarilla collection. Now this is not part of the Master Gardener collection that I have at the greenhouse in E-Town. This is my wild pink rose bush. I'm going to try and get the darken it down a bit so you can see it. Now this bush right here is an interesting one because this one, as you can see, it's got really pretty color to it. This was actually a twig that I got from one of my neighbors who passed away, and his son was selling off the land, so I was able to get some cuttings off of it and you see what happened. You know, rose bushes are kind of hard to get rooted from just cuttings. You know, most of the time they don't survive. I did about 17 cuttings and only had 3 cuttings actually survive. Now I didn't use Rootone, but you know, you live and learn. Now these two right here, These are Japanese maple trees. I started these from seeds a couple years back. I'd say about 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. All right. Now, let's go a little bit further on now. Now, this is my Belle of Georgia peach tree. As you can see, it's got really, really pretty blossoms on it this year. This actually might be the first year it'll bear fruit that'll be, you know, edible fruit. Because the last couple years I didn't really properly fertilize it and everything, but I've fertilized about everything I have. All right, now over here, as we go further, right here is my first line of blueberries. I started these about 4 or 5 years ago now. As you can tell, they've grown up quite a bit. I know I got weeds and stuff everywhere, and I got to get them cleaned out. I hadn't been out here in a while to get started on that. I've been working on so many projects. As you can see, I got honeybees collecting honey, or pollen, excuse me. Alright, going further, there used to be a big old tree right here. My father and I cut it down and got rid of it. It was just creating a shade issue because all this that's right over here, all that over there, you couldn't even get any sunlight barely. Well, thankfully we got rid of it and it's doing a lot better. Now I got 2 patio peach trees right here and there. Now this is an interesting tree. Now this tree, as beautiful as it is actually a guardian peach tree. I cut this from my Alberta peach tree. Now the rootstock on the Alberta was guardian stock apparently, and when it had a water spout come out, I thought I had gotten it from the Alberta piece of the graft, but apparently I got it from the guardian rootstock. So it has grown up beautifully. It's about 3 years or so, and as you can tell, it's actually going to bear fruit this year. I'm going to have to pluck the flowers back after the last few frosts come through. Over here is my other patio peach tree, and they're doing nicely. Over here, now this is my big, well, it's bigs to me. This is my big Japanese maple that I've had for about 3 or 4 years, and I think it was already a couple years ago, so it's probably about maybe 4 going 5 years in age. As you can tell, it's got a pretty nice sized stem. I'm gonna have to get it unroot bound and get it set out somewhere in the yard. As you can tell, I got big old pecan trees. Now over here, I got, now this right there and here, I have 2 pluot plum trees. They're actually growing very well. I'm gonna have to prune them back a little bit, but you know, they're doing very well. Over here, now this was, I don't know if it survived or not, because you know, crepe myrtles take a long time to wake back up. Now this is a crepe myrtle tree or bush. I'm not sure what kind of cultivar it is. I don't even remember what color it is. I've never actually seen it bloom. Now going onwards, we'll go to the main and the most important part of my whole shindig over here. Now this is Blue Haven. I'm trying to get a good shot. It's kind of hard with the sunlight, as bright as it is today. Now, there we go. Now, as you can see, I have rows running that way, and that way. So I have 3 main rows that run. I got 10 on one, and then so forth and so such. Now over here, we got a big old knockout rose tree right there. I actually got this when my papa was still alive. It was one of his cuttings off of one of his, and it's gotten huge. Interesting fact, down there, as you see, the stem is straight. I actually did not tame it that way to grow straight. It just grew straight after time. I just put it in a planter and turned it around in the opposite direction of the sunlight to keep it from growing crooked. And it's grown beautifully since that time, as you can see right here. Alright, and as you see down the area, these are all the blueberries I have. I have different cultivars. I have Premier, Climax, Legacy, Tiff. I have Delight. I have Homebell, and quite a few various others that I can't. Oh, I have Farthing. Yeah, I've been collecting them for some time now as I continue on my quest to actually produce the perfect blueberry. It's going to take some time, hard work, but you know, as it goes. Like right here, here's a really nice example of a Tiff. Tiffs, I like them because they get really long and lanky. Now, Legacy, like this one right here, you know, I had to prune it back last year and get rid of all the old cane out of it. As you can see down here, you can see where I had to cut it back right there. And you see down here, back in there, you see that grayed cane out. I'll have to get rid of that in another year or so. Okay. Going onward. Now here are my grapevines. Now I have Scuppernong, I have Muscadines, I have Carlos Muscadines. I think I have about 4 or 5 different cultivars. Now this one is about 9 years old now. When I got it, it was about 6 to 8 years old. I've had it for about a year and a half or so. Each one varies in size. Later down the road, y'all will get to see my project plan of putting posts up, you know, between next to each vine and getting it tamed up and growing. Now you see like that one down there, right there. There you go, you can see it better now. But yeah, as you can see, it's coming along. It takes time. I put some slow release fertilizer this year that doesn't have heavy nitrogen, so I won't burn up my blueberries this season. So that's about it for Blue Haven. As you see my seat over here, this is my sitting position. So I can just sit back, and when I get working, I can relax. Well, y'all take it easy, and y'all have a good day.